Oh, we're getting started. Hit that like, everybody. Hit that like, everybody. Come on. I'm all right. I'm messing around. I'm messing around. Hey, goodbye. All right. All right. I'm done messing around. I was doing some stuff, and just checking to see if it works on screen, and it doesn't. It doesn't. I should be able to add filters to a clone of my camera thing, but it won't let me do it. Son of a bitch. Why not? Makes no sense to me. So I'm stuck. I'm gonna have to make a whole other screen thing. Shit. I'll make a second. I'll make a second nested. You don't need to hear about this. This is how this becomes the greatest live stream in the history of live streams. Is I'm always thinking. While Trump is drinking and stinking. Speaking of stinking, I was going to say, not you guys, chat room, but can I just say, for the record, that JD Vance is singularly one of the weakest, dweebiest, most wussified goobers I have ever seen in politics. And we've seen some people, man. We've seen some people like avoiding questions and running from stuff and being evasive and blah, blah, blah. But I gotta say, it is shocking to me what a douche nozzle this guy is, and at the same time being completely and utterly, and I mean this without equivocation and directly, not metaphorically, specifically, weak. He is a weak person. He is a wuss. And his only pushback, I think, could possibly be, I'm not a weakling. I'm not a wuss. Donald Trump makes me do my press conferences with a bunch of maggots behind me, standing guard to make sure I don't say the wrong thing or answer the wrong question or answer the right question the wrong way or the wrong question the right way, which is actually probably the biggest problem that he has, whatever. This is so fucking lame. I don't think it can be overstated, and I don't know why the news hasn't paid more attention to this, but I don't want to hear shit about fucking Kamala Harris going on The View with a live audience or doing an interview on 60 Minutes that they didn't like, which was very pushy, and it was a really solid interview, or going on fucking Howard Stern or any of that shit. If this asshole can't do a press conference or take questions from people without the fucking boo chorus backup, because you'll watch, anytime anybody asks him a question, it's almost like there was a meeting. It was like the Trump team had a meeting and went, okay, not only is JD weird and a potential couch fucker, but he's also kind of stupid in that after all the shit he said about Donald Trump, which he truly believed at the time, he has come around because this is his shot at being VP, and he's just going to put it all aside and pretend he doesn't believe it anymore. And anybody that thinks people will truly buy that shit is an idiot. And Trump does not trust him. Trump thinks, if you're once for defunding the police, you're always for defunding the police. Politicians will always tell you who they really are and what they're really going to do and what they're really going to say. And this asshole called Donald Trump America's Nazi. And so in Trump's world, that means he will always and forever believe that Trump could be America's Nazi, or America's Hitler, rather. Did I say America's Nazi the first time too? America's Hitler. You get my point. Anyways. So Trump doesn't trust this asshole, and rightly so, because he's stupid. He's very stupid. He's actually stupid. And again, this is not dumb. Don't get confused. Dumb is you don't know better. Stupid is you know better, but you do it anyways. He's stupid. He's a stupid man. JD Vance is stupid and weak. Just to clarify. Stupid and weak. And obviously ethically and morally abhorrent. Let's go with that too, because he thought his running mate is the guy he thought could be America's Hitler, and there's been no material change between then and now. And his excuse that I believe what the media made me believe it. I believed what the media said, and that's why I believed it. All right, well, guess what, asshole? You don't get points for hearing what the media was saying about Donald Trump and going from that to America's Hitler. You are the connecting point. Your thought process is this to America's Hitler. Do you see how you're culpable in this equation? You're the dough-headed fuck who jumps to horrifyingly violent conclusions, apparently. So, All right, you get me. Anyways, according to the Blaze, though, JD Vance gives a masterclass in dealing with the liberal media during Q&A with woke reporters. Now, by woke, I think they mean that there's like a couple of kids from like colleges there, something like that. The guy who dresses at a wall. Apparently, there was no Trump rally that day, so he shows up at Vance's things dressed as a wall, or it's like Gallagher too. He's got a secondary dude. Anybody's guess, because nobody cares. Could we figure it out? Yes. Do we want to bother? No. Okay, so let's hear the masterclass. Now, this is a half hour long. It's far too long, but we'll get the general idea in a little bit.
Let me take a few questions from reporters. I'll answer them, and then we'll have to hit the road. But we got a microphone. I'm sure we're passing around over there. Yep. Go ahead.
By the way, this guy is fucking magic. If you want to know her. I think that's the guy from the church in 28 Days Later. Hello? Ha! Ha! Ah! All right. Anyways, this dude is, let me tell you something. This dude is exactly why Donald Trump hates his crowd. Donald Trump wants to look out at a crowd as CNN videotapes him full of millionaires and hot chicks basking in the glow of his every word. Right? This is what he wants. In his dream of dreams, CNN and all the classic media that he always derides can't wait to interview him and ask him, what's your secret? Men want to be you and women want to be underneath you. What's this, right? This is what he actually wants to have happen. But this is what he gets. He gets 3 front rows of these motherfuckers everywhere he goes. Right? It's one of the reasons he started pointing out the Trumpettes, the rich Karens that travel with him. They're always off to the left that he mentions. It's Vigo. You are like the buzzing of flies to him. No pictures, please. Slides available in the gift shop. He always brings up the Trumpettes because as aging trophy wives go, they're reasonable to look at. He's not interested because they're all kind of like 2 tiers below Melania, and she, makes his dick shrivel with fear anyway. So, but they're at least remotely attractive from a conventional sense, even though they, again, all have that like puffed up, like shellfish allergy complexion and just way too much filler. But that's his thing, so he doesn't give a shit. So they're always over here. This is why he looks over there all the time and why he keeps bringing them up. Because if he has to look at the crowd, it's rows of these motherfuckers. They all look like Ted Nugent after he slept in his truck. That, like, all of them. And it's fucking depressing for him. Now, most people don't care. That dude, if I did a comedy show and that guy was sitting in the audience amongst a bunch of other people, whatever, I'd be like, all right, yeah, cool. I'm telling jokes. Jokes are for everybody. This is fine. But if I was like, tonight's the night, if I was like a pickup artist giving a lecture on like how to meet ladies and I stared out at the audience and this was my customer base, I'd be like, fuck, right? And that's exactly how Trump looks at these folks. I just want to make that point. The other thing too is Vance is such a pussy in this situation. I'm shocked Trump isn't trying to grab him. Because this whole like, let me take some questions from the press here. How about you walk off stage and take questions from the press away from the crowd? Oh, because you can't. Because you're either not allowed or you're scared shitless to.
Great. This is Clara Anderson. I'm with the Detroit Free Press. We're in the city of Detroit today where we learned in a recent Jack Smith.
Listen to this. They're booing Detroit and Detroit Free Press. They just like, see what I mean? Like, why do you need fucking backup, you absolute wuss?
Filing that a Trump.
Oh, yeah. It is the regular fucking maggot wall guy. I recognize his doofy face.
Campaign aide in 2020 allegedly urged supporters to riot at the ballot counting center. So I want to make sure that the senator can hear my question, which is, would you discourage the campaign from engaging in that behavior and from Trump supporters and engaging in any chaotic scene?
Now, who thinks he's going to say something that, I don't know, totally pretends that January 6th never happened? What do you think the odds are?
So let me answer that question a few different ways. So first of all, of course we discourage rioting. We do not riot. Nobody in this room and nobody in this movement is going to riot.
Yeah. Uh-huh. Again, there's only like 70,000 hours of Facebook videos. Like, I just pissed on a cop. He's unconscious. We tased him near to death. I stomped on another dude or whatever. We about to go in there and shoot Nancy Pelosi in her dome. Woo-hoo! We don't riot. Nobody has ever. This is not a riot. By the way, very few people in this situation are physically capable of rioting. There's a couple in there. There's definitely a few that would try. But I mean, again, was January 6th an insurrection? No, it was not. It was a failed insurrection. And I think that's an important distinction that I will continue to make.
Second of all, your question is about a Trump campaign staffer. And I'll tell you that if you get 1,000 people together, and the Trump campaign probably has a lot more than 1,000 campaign staffers, you're going to find...
I don't know. First of all, the fact that you have to say the word probably about the word 1,000 in terms of campaign staffers is really telling. Secondly, fuck you.
Find somebody who's willing to say anything, especially in a league.
Really? Of course they will. Yeah, because, yes, I agree. If you get 1,000 campaign staffers or more, if they exist, who knows, from the Trump campaign, and you get them all together, and then you ask around, one of them's going to say Mein Kampf is their favorite book. Maybe a couple of them will say that child porn should be legal. It's because people, it's a big group. And you can probably find somebody who will say anything. Maybe you guys should tighten up your hiring and your volunteer system, dummy, and your staffing.
A leaked message or private communication. The idea that the...
hey, asshole. A leaked message or a private communication. First of all, you can't leak a lie. Let me say that again for the folks in the cheap seats who may be new to HAL Sparks Mega Worldwide, the greatest live stream in the history of live streams. Let me tell you right now, ladies and gentlemen, you can't leak a lie. A lie is just a lie. A leak has to be true, or it's just a lie. Do you understand how that works? Right? You can only leak details and communications, but you can't leak a lie. You're just lying. They didn't actually say that. They didn't actually write that down. That didn't actually happen. That's called a lie. If they show something where it did happen, or somebody did say it, or somebody did communicate it, not a lie. You understand how that works? You can't leak a lie.
The Trump campaign, either in 2020 or 2024, is encouraging people to riot is disgraceful. Of course we're not doing that. And by the way...
asshole, she didn't say you in general. She said this person did in that area, in the town you're in right now. Could you tell them to not?
And by the way, these fine people are law-abiding citizens who work.
By the way, I'd like to say for the record that Thomas Crooks was a law-abiding citizen until he wasn't. All the people on January 6th, before they crossed the threshold and started beating cops, guess what, motherfucker? They were all law-abiding citizens until they weren't.
Work and pay their taxes. They're not going to riot no matter what anybody says to them.
Oh, so, sorry, Ray Epps. Your whispers are no good here. They're not going to riot. They barely wanted to come here to this gymnasium.
And here's the final point. I think it's interesting that the media is so focused on a random message from a random staffer in 2020. If you want to talk about rioting, let's talk about...
Yeah, I don't know if you know this, but in 2020, shortly thereafter, there actually was... There was... rioting. Lots of it.
About the summer riots of 2020 that killed 20 people that the media seems uninterested in.
You mean the riots that happened during Trump? That ended? That aren't... have they continued? Sorry, the Law and Order Party was in charge during that that year. Is the idea that the 20 people that were killed, their killers have not been and will not be brought to justice? Because they have. Oh, what the fuck are you clapping about? Oh, I know what they're clapping about. These assholes, I'd like to say for the record, these assholes, either by willful ignorance or just being fucking dumb, they actually think that the people who burned down buildings and shot people or tried to kill people or beat people near to death during the riots in 2020, that no one was prosecuted. And not only was no one prosecuted and no one went to jail, but there was a moratorium on it. Like, you weren't even allowed. Just letting you know. That wasn't the case. Then and now, if you kill somebody, you're going to jail. If they catch you, if they can find you, fuck you. Yeah, it's gaslighting, but it's like he's got some of the weakest gas you'll ever hear.
Next question.
Also, anybody else notice he's picked up the Obama stammer? Next question. What we want to do here? That's what he's doing. He's what he's trying to do. One of the things you can do. This is a trick. If you're worried about what you're going to say will be cut and clipped and frankly taken out of context, you strategically you pause and you put language barriers in there that make clipping in this case impossible. See how that works? It's a good trick. He didn't, and I think he's clearly doing this. Maybe not because he's worried the news will clip what he's going to say, but because he's worried that people will clip what he's going to say and show it to Trump.
Hello, my name is Sasha Calvert.
Whoop! What the hell? Stop! Hold on. We're not ending. Hold on. That's not. No. This is. My button got hit. The show should not. Hold on. I have to interrupt the thing or my show will stop because the button got hit and I don't want it to drop. Oh, yes. Hold on, Biggs. I knocked that over. Hold on. There. Nope. Stop. Okay, as long as my lights don't go off, I'm okay. All right, good. I had to interrupt that. That's my thing fell over and hit my goodbye button, and that turns everything off. And I'm like, no. Okay, back to where we were. There we go. Back to this dummy.
I'm a reporter with the Michigan Daily. So, the University of
Boo! Sorry, Hannah.
Michigan, all campuses, has historically had some of the largest student voter turnout in the U.S. Why should students in Michigan cast their vote for the Trump-Vance ticket? And additionally, how will your administration support students, specifically concerning gun violence, where you have rejected calls for tougher gun laws and bans on bump stocks? Essentially, why should students concerned about their safety on campus vote for you?
Yeah, so the first
See what I mean? This fucking boo! Like, why can't you answer this shit without crowd backup? Right? Okay. Let me tell you something about insulting people. One of the reasons you don't use racial or bigoted or sexist epithets, besides the fact that it is immoral and gross and lame and stupid and weak and unethical and immoral and all those reasons, and just wrong. The other reason you don't do it is because it does what I call calling. It's what I call calling in an airstrike on your own position. You go from arguing with a person you're arguing with to an entire group of people, and you're just radioing in an airstrike on your own position. Okay, it's tactically stupid as well as morally reprehensible. The inverse of this is, if you're strong enough to stand on your own, you don't have to have backup. One of the other things is that people will do that's the inverse of that is what do you mean, you people, kind of responses to stuff, right? What you're like, are you saying that everybody in this that all conservatives are a problem? Like, no, I'm talking to you, asshole. And you go like, oh, so you think everybody who voted for Donald Trump is a racist now? Like, you know what I mean? Because what you're doing is you're just calling in an airstrike on their position. It's weak. Instead of fighting mano a mano in this particular instance. And that's exactly what this is. Like, he is, it's why it's so weak, and it's really aggravating.
let's be honest here. I don't know if a Ohio State graduate is the best messenger to University of Michigan students. So I hope
he's an Ohio State graduate is the point he's trying to make.
In fact, thank you, sir. But, you know, maybe we should.
I love you guys.
Just get. We should get a clip of me saying something nice about Kamala Harris out to the University of Michigan, because then maybe they'd all vote for Donald J. Trump if you just told them I was a Buckeye. Like, I'm always a little nervous about injecting myself into the OSU-Michigan rivalry here, but I think that we all.
Oh my God, is that what this was? This was like, this was his roundabout way of trying to make it a sports analogy? Dude, she asked you about gun violence on campus. They're worried they're gonna die, you dumb motherfucker.
All kidding aside, look.
Yeah, all kidding aside. What were you saying? Some bullshit about people are worried they're gonna get shot in Detroit?
We all care about the country. And that's why I think every person in this room is going to help me make Donald J. Trump the next president of the United States. And it's in that spirit.
Jesus Christ. Have you ever heard like a dumber, more Bob Roberts answer? Yeah, thanks, man. Yeah. What's your answer? What's your message to the college campus of students in Detroit, which have the highest turnout in this area? Oh, are we not on Instagram? Did we drop off there for some reason? Oh, sorry. Yes. It didn't click through. Thank you. Oh, yeah, 4 clicks. Now it's on. Hi, Instagram. We're here now. For those of you just catching up on Instagram, we're discussing how weak and pathetic JD Vance is because he can't do a press conference without a bunch of maggots standing behind him, booing at every question. And in this question, you know, we'll look at this again. Look at the total answer again. He was asked how to, you know, why should kids on campus specifically in Detroit, who are worried about gun violence, vote for you when you won't ban bump stocks and you're totally against any regulation of guns. And he starts off with this whole bullshit about there's a rival between OSU and Michigan State, and I don't know if I should get in the middle because obviously Captain Sports over here.
Myself into the OSU-Michigan rivalry here, but I think that we all kidding aside, look, we all care about the country. And that's why I think every person in this room is going to help me make Donald J. Trump the next president of the United States. And it's in that spirit that I want to answer this question.
Great. In that spirit. Not only does he have them boo people. Sorry, is it quiet? All right, I'll see if I can bring it up a little bit. Not only does he have them boo the question, but then he has to do this kind of like MAGA jingoism rah-rah. Thanks, Edward.
If I'm a young person in Michigan, here's one thing that Donald Trump and I want to do. First of all, we want to make it easier for you to build a life and to have a good career and to have a good job in your home, not to ship all the good jobs over to seas, but to build a...
Over to seas? Wait a minute. You're going to sink all these jobs in the ocean? Also, hey, asshole, the question was, how do I survive school? The rest of it, great to hear. I'm glad there'll be a job waiting for me in your fantasy world after I graduate if I don't die. Do you understand the fucking question, dum-dum?
Great middle class.
What do we do about car accidents and people dying in car accidents and stuff? Well, I want to make sure that when you do arrive at work, the water fountain has, you know, is got good cold water. Everybody's like a cold drink of water, right? Of course, the Democrats will probably make that gay and communist next week.
Class economy right here in the United States of America. I think that's something that matters to a lot of Michigan students. I think the second thing that matters to Michigan students is I don't want young people in this country to be permanently indebted because we built an economy that turns American citizens into paupers in their own country.
What? Sorry. You're obviously not talking about student loan debt.
I want them to be able to own a home, build some wealth for themselves, and start a family right here in the state of Michigan.
And we're going to start by forgiving student debt so that they can know
and do it.
Do it. Yes. Yes. We want to make a future where college students can do it.
And do it because we've got smarter economic policies that are going to allow them to thrive. Michigan students, people who are, meaning at the University of Michigan and all across the state, because I know there's a...
I see. Yeah, there's a lot of students in Michigan. That's a good point. Yeah. This is student. There aren't just students. Now, my favorite part is I don't think they know whether to boo or applaud. They're like, boo. What the fuck is he saying? How do I, can somebody poke me when I'm supposed to boo and tickle me when I'm supposed to applaud? I have no idea what he's saying.
A lot of great universities in the state of Michigan. We are
never pass up an opportunity to kiss ass.
Turning an entire generation of American young people into folks who don't have enough money to own anything. That is...
We're turning an entire generation into folks that don't have enough money to own anything. What? First of all, one of the ways that happens, I think, is student loan debt, that students might be concerned about the student loan debt and the debt that they have, so that maybe they can't own something later because they owe this other. Are you? I haven't, man. All right. How do you dodge the initial question about guns and literally fall into a trap of catching yourself in the fact that you don't want to get rid of student loan debt or improve it or help students pay it off or create a fairer system for doing it? Like, how do you fuck up into a bigger fuck up?
It's a terribly destructive direction for this country to go in. Donald Trump and I want you to be able to own a slice of your own country, and we're going to pursue economic policies that make that possible. That's what we're going to fight for every single day. And on...
Are you ever going to answer the actual question? So, sorry, I'll answer the gun thing in a minute, but I really want to point out how I'm running with a guy who couldn't give two shits about student loan debt and will never do anything to make it better, except maybe discourage people to getting an education in the first place, or making sure our students, getting rid of the Department of Education so that everybody's too stupid to go to college. That's it. That's how we're going to save you from student loan debt. We're going to make sure that the next generation is too dumb to go to university so that they don't compete with legacy admissions.
And on the question about gun violence, what I have said is that 90%, upwards of 90% of the gun crime that's committed in this country is committed using an illegally obtained firearm. So my point is...
Right. Yeah. You know why? Because it's repeat felons. Felons can't own a gun. They have a gun, so they bought it illegally. But it wasn't the gun sale that was illegal. They bought it through straw purchases at gun shows and at gun stores. Something you guys don't want to fix at all. So fuck off. Secondly, she's specifically asking about the other 10%. The part where mass shootings occur that you'll always have to worry about. We're not talking about drug dealers shooting each other. We're not talking about, like the number of people who like carjack multiple cars with an empty gun over the course of a day or something like that. We're talking specifically about people who walk onto campuses and open fire on a bunch of people, and because they have bump stocks and 60-round magazines on their guns, no one can jump them and stop them from reloading until they've killed 20 to 30 people. That's the concern. And the answer from these assholes is just suck it up. You gotta just get over it. It's a fact of life. We're gonna have bump stocks. We're gonna have machine guns. We're gonna have 60-round magazines. And if you're downrange from when it happens, thoughts and prayers.
Making it unlawful to own that gun has not stopped 90% of these gun crimes.
First of all, it has lowered making it unlawful for felons to own guns, for example, has eliminated an unfathomable number of crimes. Let's just start with handguns. The fact that a felon can't just go buy another handgun as soon as they get out of fucking jail, and there's rules against that. How many of them have given up and not done it, or gone on and continued doing whatever the fuck they were doing to get rehabilitation or get a job or whatever? So there's an unknown number of crimes that are stopped just by the fact that a felon's not allowed to buy a gun. If that law wasn't there, they could walk right out of jail into a fucking gun shop and buy a handgun, not wait, and these guys don't want any kind of gun registry. They don't want background checks, any of that shit, okay? So of course they do, all the fucking time. And that's why he says 90% and not just with no number attached, right? That will always be true if you shrink the gun number down to 15. But the number of people who are dead will be incredibly low comparatively. You understand? All right. So, yes, it's unfathomable. It's 60, it's 20 fathoms below unfathomable. So, of course, gun laws have stopped crimes, specifically and kept people from buying those illegal guns in the first place because it's illegal for them to own a gun, not that the gun is illegal. So 90% is not illegal there. That's why he says illegally obtained or illegally purchased, not illegal guns. Never mind ghost guns, guns that have had the serial number scratched off of them, shit like that, which is another part. Again, not what happens on most college campuses when there's a shooting. That's not their concern. And that's not when we do have deaths on college campuses. It's never because of those 90%. Does that make sense? Those 90% of gun violence deaths that happen, between people shooting at cops and getting shot, shooting at each other and getting shot, committing murder with those things, people who've got a domestic violence, there's a red flag law or something like that, so they go out of state and they buy one in a fucking red state where everybody should own a gun and they'll just hand it to you. Some wives just need beating. Here, try this thing. It ain't too heavy. That kind of shit. Besides that stuff, the 10% she's talking about are the shockingly large numbers in a very short period of time killed by people who are walking around with AR-15s with giant magazines and multiple rounds and wearing body armor with the intention of inflicting as much death and destruction as possible. Answer her question. You can't answer her question by answering a question she didn't bring up. Again, this is like the fucking school shit. We're like, what are you going to do about schools? We need more parental involvement. Great. Can you legislate anything about parental involvement? No. Then fuck off.
So what we've got to do is take some common sense security measures. And I think the best way...
Common sense security measures. Universities, stop wearing that short skirt of people just living their lives trying to get an education. It's too attractive to the guy with the AR-15.
To reduce gun crime in the United States of America. I think this is a statistical fact, is to lock up people who are committing violence against their fellow citizens.
Yeah. Agreed. Know what happens when they do that to the ones on that shoot up college campuses? It's too late. There's already 7, 10 dead people. We do that. All the school shooters that survive go to fucking jail. We're not letting any school shooters out ever again. Yeah, we got it. That part's handled. We're talking about how do you stop it before it starts? How do you maintain the Second Amendment while making sure that we minimize the number of chances that somebody who goes fucking bananas and shoots up a place can take out as many people as possible, because an AR-15, quite frankly, is an abortion rifle, and technically it's a pipe bomb you can point. That's what it's for. It's a shrapnel machine. It's the inverse of a fucking wood chipper. That's what it's for. It's an anti-personnel weapon. It's not a hunting rifle, and it's not for self-defense unless you're defending yourself against the military, the police, or other cartels. Fuck you.
That's the most important thing.
We're already doing that. Yeah, great. Cool. Thanks. Cool story, bro. We're already doing that. Name one school shooter or workplace shooter that got out and did it again. One. That's how stupid this answer is. That's how ridiculous and weak and foolish and what a waste of fucking time this is. Seriously, give me the name of one mass shooter that did another mass shooting. Right? If they're not dead, they're locked up. Do you think there might be common sense precautions we can take to minimize the chances that things like this happen in the first fucking place, because the rest of us would like to get on with our fucking lives without sitting in a fucking restaurant going, I wonder if this is the day some asshole disgruntled employee walks in and starts shooting the fucking place up and just kills 4 people because what the fuck? Because they could have red flagged him. He threatened people. We knew he did. He was making terroristic threats for weeks. There are no rules about doing it. He had, you know, he was able to buy a, you know, even in a situation where he wasn't allowed to buy a gun because he was a felon or something. You know, they're not arresting the gun store owner or the person at that did the straw purchase that sold it to him or loaned it to him. Loan my buddy who can't buy a gun the fucking, like, a gun just to borrow. Yeah, Vance believes in abortion in the 250th month. Right. Woo! Yes. Yay! Let's lock them up. Yeah, we do, dummy. It's a shame you can't follow up in this situation.
And I, you know, I'm going to butcher the statistics, so I don't want to give them exactly. But if you look, whether it's in Detroit or New York City, any of our major cities.
Yeah. Okay. This is this is lying via statistics. Again, the asshole. This is okay. This is like answering the question with the majority of gun deaths. Majority of gun deaths are suicides. That's just true. Statistically speaking, more people who die from gun violence die because they shoot themselves. Now, should there be things we can do about that? Absolutely. Are they the same things you do to stop mass shootings? Not even fucking close. So if I'm asking you about mass shootings or how we limit them or how we protect ourselves against them or what rules we can put in place to protect ourselves and protect like kids and schools and all this stuff and these open targets for these fucking lunatics, and you go, well, most people shoot themselves. What's the fucking difference? What's the fucking difference between that answer and the answer he just gave?
And you look at the violence problem, it is always a very, very small number of people who commit the gross majority of violent crimes. So why don't we get back in this country, whether you're...
Right. So why would all the other people mind comprehensive background checks, limitation on magazine capacity, and a moratorium on bump stocks? And if you want one, you just have to register it. Let us know. If you're a gun collector or you're an armor, you know, that works on a movie or something, you can own machine guns because you get a special license. Get a fucking special license then. If the vast majority of the people who own guns are legal gun owners and are totally cool about it and will never ever shoot another person in anger, then why the fuck do they mind all those measures? What's the fucking problem? And again, this whole thing like, I might need this because tyrannical government is going to come to me. Okay, first of all, they're going to fucking microwave your insides. They don't need to shoot you. Secondly, how long are you going to stay in the house before you have to drink out of the tap? You don't think they can put something in the tap that makes you go sleepy, sleepy, bye-bye? At a certain point, like, why does your paranoia stop? Right? Why does your paranoia stop at, I need a gun to get them? Like, all right, asshole. So they don't have the ability to... Lokiera's voting right now. Congratulations. Thank you. Happy birthday to me. Right? So, again, none of this matters to the question she's asking. Students on campus are worried about people that you can warn people about that are clearly having mental health issues. And by the way, they're not, mental health issues are not to blame for any of this shit. I would argue that most of the school shootings happen based on ego and immorality of the shooter, not because they're...
number of violent criminals. It'll make everybody safer, everybody more secure, and it'll actually give people public safety. And
Okay, that's him saying that most... oh, did you lose me? What happened? Am I here? What happened? I'm not gone. I'm still here. Oh, is I buffering? Hey, am I back? Hello? Uh-oh. Let's see. We're frozen. Why are we frozen? What would be the freezing part? It's not on my end, so it's clearly something on the interwebs. There's YouTube. I went offline and then came back. Okay. Back, yay. Okay, good. Yay! Just refresh your page, everybody. I don't know what that was. I mean, there's a giant storm in Florida, and God knows where this bounces through.
I think that's the biggest way we can reduce violent crime in this country.
Yeah, we're not... Asshole, that's not what she's asking about. At all. You fucking tit. She's not asking how we reduce violent crime. She's worried about bump stocks and high-capacity magazines and any asshole who wants one getting an AR-15, even if they have a history of domestic violence or their family knows that they've been having homicidal ideation for a long time. That's what she's asking about. She's not worried about carjackings. That's a different question. You fucking tit.
Thank you. Next question.
Senator
You didn't answer that one, and God, it's annoying.
Vance, Ken Coleman from MichiganAdvance.com. Detroit is 77% African American. The state is 14.
Like a bunch of people were ready to boo on that one. Detroit is 70% African American. Boo! Oh fuck.
Percent African American. Why should African American Michiganders vote for the Trump Vance ticket?
Well, you know, we've got a great number of Black Americans in this crowd right now.
By the way, if JD Vance sees a crowd and there's less than 8 people in the crowd that are black, that's a great number. 8 or less. It's a great number. Not a great number, but a great number.
They could probably answer that question better than I could, but...
No, they can't. Ask her. Bring her up. Let her explain. It'll be adorable. Weird.
But
Wait. We froze again? I'm here. Hold on. Everybody refresh. Hold on. Clearly, I have to see if there's something going on with the restream right now. So, but it's pretty rock solid on that end. Oh, it's popping in and out. Something. It's going from fair to excellent back and forth. I don't know which channel it's having an issue with. View analytics. And look at my analytics real quick. Boy, oh boy. Real-time analytics. Bit rate's staying pretty high. There you go. There's the bit rate. There's the floor from before. It was one drop of something. Okay. Should be all right.
But without calling everybody up here, because I'm a politician, I don't like to share the microphone with anybody as much as I like them. What I think they would agree with is, number one, Donald Trump wants to bring back public safety and an economy that brings prosperity for everybody. Good way.
Right. Yeah. Black equals crime. That's what he's saying. Oh, Facebook says unable to connect. Facebook went away. Is that what happened? I'm gonna go. I'm gonna flip the switch and then do it again. Hopefully, we'll come back on Facebook. Everybody else seems to be streaming okay. I might have just said it could actually have been me triggering, because of how I was speaking, triggering the algorithm to kick me off. That happens. Yeah, still on Instagram, so I think. So we're okay. All right, here we go.
Wages for good jobs. That's the Trump promise, and I think that's a great promise to black families in Michigan and to everybody else. Here's something else. I mean, there is this idea in the media, and I don't know where it came from, that somehow
I probably know.
Black Americans don't believe in public safety in this country. Well, we know whether...
Yeah, that's not at all That's not at all how anyone would frame
You're
it.
Democrat, Republican, or Independent, Black Americans do care about public safety in this.
Right? Yeah, they do. Mm-hmm. Do you think maybe their concerns might be that sometimes people use public safety as an excuse to, let's say, overreach in black communities, causing more harm than good? It might be the best way I can.
This country. They want to empower our law enforcement officers to do their job. Of course, do it respectfully and make sure we've got good relationships between police and community, but we
Right. That's why the Obama-Biden administration put together the COPS program, which would help to broom out cops like Derek Chauvin and make sure that police have an easier time building trust between the community, because they don't have, it's not near impossible to get rid of bad cops in their ranks. And what happened to that? Oh, right. Donald Trump killed it the same week he killed the pandemic response team. In 2 years, almost to the day, we had the riots and the pandemic hit. It's almost as if that was like the tallest rake he'd ever stepped on.
We can have a good relationship between police and the communities they serve while we lock up the violent criminals and keep everybody safe in the process. I think that's very possible.
Sure. Of course it's possible. The question is it probable without some sense of reform and attention to that? Or is your running mate running on a platform that we need quick trials for drug dealers because they all kill 500 people? You might as well think of it so a couple hours and if they turn out to be innocent later, that's what they get for wearing their pants low or wearing a stupid hat or some shit. Whatever made me think they were a drug dealer in the first place, and whatever the jury behind you, boo, hang them, whatever the fuck it was. And then after the quick trials, and then of course the imbalance in people who go to jail for certain crimes versus those who don't would also be at play in this.
And look, I mean, the story...
I'm starting to think that JD Vance might not be okay with a high school quarterback who's the star of the football team not going to jail for sexual assault when he does it, because they've got a game on Saturday. See what I mean?
The story of Black Americans, especially in the city of Detroit, is actually very similar to the story of Appalachian white Americans who came from West Virginia, Kentucky, Tennessee.
Yep, they're all their music sounds alike. They love using the N-word, and nobody likes reading. I think that's his argument.
We moved to places like Detroit, black and white together, because there were good jobs for people who were willing to work hard and play by the rules. And it wasn't always perfect, but for a generation in this country, people, black and white, worked together, raised their families, built things in this country, and created prosperity for the entire country. And if
Totally. We had economic integration, and the government had no part in that whatsoever. People just did it. People from Appalachia drove up here, just like Southern blacks, up to Detroit to get a good job and raise a nice family in cloud fucking cuckoo land.
That was the story, by the way, in the steel mill that my grandfather worked in for almost 40 years. You had black folks and white folks living together, working together, and they again, it wasn't always perfect, but
Let's say you give us an example of that imperfection. I think a lot of us are like, perfect is a rather high standard. So, since it's so high, anything fits below perfect, including, someone being rude occasionally, or misstating someone, or mispronouncing someone's name on purpose, little things like that, or maybe burning a cross on their lawn.
But it worked. You know why it worked? Because
everybody was poor and starving, and desperation makes people put up with a lot of shit that they wouldn't normally, but the second they get a fucking toehold, then they start I don't know, compartmentalizing.
We had good jobs for people who were willing to work hard and play by the rules. The destruction of the manufacturing economy in the state of Michigan has been disastrous for Black Americans, and it's been disastrous for a lot of middle-class white Americans, too. We can make things in this country.
It's not, wasn't disastrous for lower income or lower class white. Oh, right, they don't exist. That's right. They start out that way when they're in, as soon as they leave Appalachia, they're middle class. I get it. Okay, cool. Yeah.
Again, we can build things in the United States of America again, and when we do, it's going to bring prosperity to Black and white alike.
Well, yeah, the thing is, it doesn't, though. It doesn't. That's the point. You have to actually do shit to make sure that it does. That's why opportunity economy, for example, it's got a thing. If you just don't, then what you have is the Peter Thiels of the world, for example, making sure that shit is compartmentalized. Also, by the way, a non-answer. We'll take one more because this is a great example of basically how he's just pussing out and like he's in this situation. He even, again, I don't know whether they know whether to boo or cheer until they cheer at the end of his answer because they assume he said something good. But during it, they're not even sure whether to boo or cheer based on the details he's giving because they don't know which side they're on of it.
Next question.
Is it on? Good afternoon, Senator Vance. My name is John Enot from Avante Moda Magazine, and I'm a member of the local independent media here in Detroit, so hopefully I'll get a little safer reception. I'm a native Detroiter.
That's so funny. No, they're going to boo you, too.
And I think Michiganders are really worried about a lot of things during this election cycle, and I think a couple that I hear all the time is they're very nervous about their First Amendment and their Second Amendment rights. So the question is, what will the Trump administration do to guarantee the people of Michigan that their rights will be protected? And what's your view on those amendments? And then also, to what extent...
What's your view on those amendments? Please say you're a First and Second Amendment absolutist.
Should social media companies, if any, be able to moderate and control what people say online if it's legal?
Yeah.
Of course it's legal. They're private organizations. They don't have to post fucking stuff from Stormfront and neo-Nazis, nor should they. Do you think they should have to? Detroit independent press guy?
So let me try to answer that question.
In three ways. One that doesn't make sense, one that doesn't pertain to your question, and one that will make these assholes cheer even if they don't know what I'm saying.
As completely as I can. Number one, I love the First and Second Amendments. There's a reason they're number one and number two is because they're the most important.
Well, they were at the time because we were still in a horse and buggy situation and the King of England was trying to kill everybody. They're also, the First Amendment is there to nullify half of the 10 Commandments right out of the gate. I'm just telling you. Oh, and the Second Amendment is there to nullify thou shalt not kill in absolute terms.
But, you know, you go back to the question the gentleman asked earlier about Black Americans and particularly what Black Michiganders have to gain from a Trump presidency. And if you look at the censorship and the vaccine mandates, the idea that you should be fired from your job for speaking your mind, that fell oftentimes hardest on Black Americans as much as anybody else because...
What? Why? Sorry, there's a huge Black anti-vax movement that was harmed?
It was often Black Americans who were going on and saying, well, wait a second. You know, why and again, this is everybody, but it was happening a lot in the Black community. Why are we forced to take this shot in order to earn a living and provide bread for our children? Why?
Well, largely so you can still be alive to provide bread for your children.
Why are we being silenced by some of the biggest corporations in the United States of America? I think that affects everybody, but your answer.
Sorry, how are you being silenced? Does this guy think that like most black Michiganders are like that weird lady who believes that demon semen is the reason we have COVID, who was part of Trump's medical team?
Answer about or question about technology companies. The biggest threat to the First Amendment in the United States of America is
Elon Musk. I agree.
big technology companies who are trying to silence Americans for speaking their mind. And the Trump campaign and the Trump presidency, we've got no use for it.
We've got no use for it. Okay, first of all, no. Your First Amendment is not in danger from any social media company. They can allow you on their private site and you can make a living or post what you want. And if they decide they don't want you on there, you can fucking go. They don't owe you anything. They pay for the hard drive space. If you pay to be on there, you might have some kind of a recourse. But all of them that are free, you can fuck right off if you affect their bottom line. Right? Unless what JD Vance is arguing is that you should be able to walk onto anyone's private property and shout pro-Nazi slogans on private property that you do not own legally.
And you asked about the Second Amendment. Look, we believe in the Second Amendment. We believe that people
You believe that you believe that you believe in it?
ought to be able to keep their families and their children safe. And
I agree. They should be able to keep their children safe from those mean people that fired them for saying racist shit at work. And the only way they know to do that is to go into the place during peak work hours and fire into the crowd.
it's that simple. And
It's not simple. Especially when you're going to leave out the well-regulated militia part.
think there is a big difference between the Kamala Harris campaign. Kamala Harris has explicitly endorsed gun confiscation. Donald Trump has explicitly endorsed the second.
First of all, Trump believes in gun confiscation before any kind of legal proceeding. Can't you just take the guns first and then go to court? He said it himself. Do you think that's going to fucking change? What do you think dictator on day one would do? You think you think Viktor Orban, all that shit where he's talking how awesome Viktor Orban is? Do you have any idea what the gun laws are like in fucking Hungary?
Second Amendment of the U.S. Constitution. I'd rather be on that.
By the way, because of, I think, the signal loss or whatever, we lost, some folks or whatever. So welcome them back. Share the show. Make sure people know we didn't go away and that this is live. It is the greatest live stream in the history of live streams. So it'd be nice if people knew that. Hit the like, give a thumbs up, support the show, etc., etc., etc.
That side.
Okay, it's going to be the same shit. My point in this chat was that he can't give a press conference of any length without backup from a crowd of maggots. It's super weird. Now, a couple of things. Let me do a couple of short ones real quick, if I may. I don't know what the fuck is happening here. Maybe you can explain to me, because on Real America's Voice, John Schneider, who used to be on the Dukes of Hazzard, and here looks like Nick Nolte's long-lost son, that they both that met him in the gutter for the first time. Dad? Actor, filmmaker, musician. John Schneider has a new song. Yeah, he's got a new song, people. And it's called... I can't. It's called, I'm not gonna be able to say it. Don't Donald the Trump. And it is, insofar as I know, a pro-Trump song? Huh? Don't, ladies and gentlemen, John Schneider, don't Donald the Trump. And I didn't realize that Donald is a pejorative verb. It's oh my God. Wait, it's a ripoff of the Final Countdown? Fuck you, dude. By the way, excuse me, like, fair use. I don't want to hear any shit about getting a copyright strike on this when Real America's Voice is playing it for political reasons.
Hey, welcome back to the
Root the way. Oh my God, it's Wayne Allen Root.
.com. Great interview coming up with John.
So good, it's gonna be great. And I'm just standing here in my giant truck closet where I basically, like, most people use shelves for books. Fuck that.
Schneider, formerly of Dukes of Hazzard. He's got a
Sorry, formerly of what?
site is rootforamerica.com. And you can email me anytime, wayneroot@gmail.com. Great interview coming up with John Schneider, formerly of Dukes of Hazzard.
Dukes in Hazzard. So you watched the show Concerned, were you? That the Duke boys were in Hazard. They were in either the county or a situation where they were in a hazardous situation.
It's got a great song. We're going to play it for you. But first, I want to make sure you know who the sponsor of this segment is.
Yeah, I don't care. Vertical Research Advisory? No. It's some gold bullshit. Okay.
A song called Don't Donald the Trump.
God damn. It sounds even dumber when he says
Before we
it.
bring John on, I want to play a minute of his song. It is fantastic.
It's great. It's good. It's awesome.
Don't Donald the Trump.
Oh no. So far, so good. Very country. What I like is it's down home feel. Yeah. Did they record this while his pee burned? Don't Donald the Trump.
You can mark the twain.
Oh! Oh! Oh no! Oh! Oh no! You can't. No. You can mark the twain. You can Donald the Duck. You can Mickey the Mouse. You can do what's up. You can Daisy Duke. You can Duke on my chest. Don't Donald the Trump.
And Kurt the Cobain.
Ah! Oh, it hurts. Ow! What? He's reading these lyrics off of paper. I'd almost forgive him if he'd been hit with a shovel and forced to sing. You can Kurt the Cobain. Please tell me this will be available at karaoke night. Shit.
You can Mickey the...
Oh, motherfucker! No way! No, you cannot Mickey the Mouse. I was kidding. I was fucking kidding. No, you cannot, sir. No, you cannot. You cannot Mickey the Mouse. And at the same time, you Kurt the Cobain or you Mark the Twain. You could suck my taint. Oh my God. This is so bad.
Mouse and Levi the...
Oh, Jesus Christ. That's not fair. Hold on. Does John Schneider, who's probably mad that you probably can John the Schneider. But does he think Levi Strauss is a guy, not Levi and Strauss? Okay.
Strauss, you can open the Heimer, you can rock the fella.
You can oppa the Heimer, you can rocka the fella. Oh.
And you could even Fitzgerald the Ella.
All right, I don't know. Okay. Shit. All right. Cocaine is a hell of a drug. That's all I'm gonna say. No. Here's what I don't understand. I can almost understand how you could write this on paper and think it'll work out. It's a mystery to me that you could record it and not want to punch yourself in the face. But mixing it multiple times, like working on the mixing of something, takes hours. And then to release it and go, yeah, I'm okay with this. Go skinny dipping, school skipping, wine sipping, FedEx shipping, have your supper late, I guess master the bait, catch the fish without bait. Catch the fish without bait. Look, you guys know I'm for AI, but I think using the first iterations of it to do anything is a mistake at this point. You can lap the top. Sleep with your makeup on. Forget the club. Forget the club card coupon. No, you can't. I'm just going to say, right? No, you cannot. You absolutely cannot. No to all of those things. Especially Ella-ing the Fitzgerald and Appa-ing the Heimer. Don't do that. You will, it's very dangerous, and you could develop an infection on your taint. No. Hold on. You can't. What?
You can't trump the Trump. Never stop, never stop, never stop on the Trump.
Ugh, look at that child's depression. Dad, why? Mom's gonna be drinking wine all night now. Dad, why do you let Grandpa talk you into this? Is that John Voight? Bonk, bonk. Jesus. Oh, wait. I want to see Wayne Allen Root. Let us know how awesome this is, Wayne. Tell us, buddy. Our trust is in you. We expect you watch the news and read newspaper. Maybe you don't read, but you watch podcasts and stuff, and you filter it through your political brain. And we have to trust your taste and your understanding of things and your comprehension skills. And so, please, you've just seen what we've all seen. Tell us how awesome it is. Oh man, and just.
All right, new hit song Donald the Trump by John Schneider. His acting career includes, of course, his...
Just no adjectives at all. Not just hit song. Honestly, is Trump just asking assholes to make songs for him because he's figuring he'll I'll never get a cease and desist for this except from my audience.
His iconic role as Bo Duke on the Dukes of Hazzard and too many other roles to mention.
I don't know. Maybe one other. Maybe, you know what I mean? What? Maybe. Okay. Yeah, Bo Duke. And then what? Just give us one. You don't have to mention all of them. Obviously, the list goes on and on and on. Just one of them that doesn't embarrass you to say out loud. Wasn't he a third bum from the right in the Left Behind movies?
He writes, directs, stars in his own films.
So why not list one of those? The great iconic role of...
He has over 20 albums to his credit, 5 #1 singles on the Billboard Country chart, and his new single is Don't Donald the Trump by the W.
By the way, those #1 singles on the country charts, I think, happened in 1980 when the show was still on the air, and there basically was no country charts.
Twos featuring John Schneider. John, welcome to the Root Reaction. How are you?
Hey, thank you. I'm fine. What an introduction. Thank you so much. I'm so excited about this song because I had nothing to do with it except a friend of mine, Peter.
A guy came to me and said, "Want to look like a complete asshole?" And I said, "Sign me up." Basically, that's what my agent says right before I take a new acting role that I write, direct, and star in, and never sees the light of day myself.
Peter Wolf, who's got like every award you could get, and a legendary composer, great guy.
And he's since had a stroke, I guess. Sorry. He's got all these awards or whatever. Not any since someone stepped on his hose at the hospital and his brain was just... So the stuff he comes up with now isn't quite up to the standard. I don't want to be a total dick, but I do want to mention that Alex Jones is looking for a new theme song. Woo. Nothing says hit song like the guy who sang it and did all of it backing away from it slowly like it's a turd rigged to blow. Yeah, I don't, I mean, this guy came to me and this was his idea, really. And I had this, I mean, the guy has a lot of awards. I didn't just fall into this shit. And I was like, okay. And then, anyways, he wrote it and... Oh, God. Oh, fantastic. Okay. Oh, God. And to quote Ford Fairlane, what is this asshole smiling about?
Called me and said, I have a song that my wife wrote. I would like for you.
Oh, Bear just kicking the dude's wife under the bus that this guy's wife wrote. He's got all the awards in the world, and I. Oh my God. This is, it just keeps getting better. Just quit it. God damn it. Oh, God. Oh, shit. I got this song my wife wrote. Guy's got all these awards. Never won an award for picking wives, but... Oh, God. My wife wrote this. Fuck me. This is so fucking amazing. Just him trying to tiptoe away from this shit.
You to sing. And I thought he meant, you know, this is Peter Wolf. I thought he meant, you know, I'd sing in the group with We Are the World, you know. But
yeah, but that nope. I thought I'd be doing some backgrounds on his wife's song, but nope. I show up at his fucking house and he's like, "Hey, there's your mic," and I'm like, "What?" And he's like, oh.
No, this turned out being my song, and I just love it. I'm so excited about it.
Yeah, I can tell, buddy. Look at the look on your face. I'm so excited about it. This is just the most wonderful thing I've ever heard. Congratulations to the two of you. I'm so glad you guys are getting married. No. We used to date, but I'm so happy for her and for you.
And John, I know who Peter Wolf is. I think he's won like a zillion Grammys, right?
Right. How many has his wife won?
He's like unbelievable.
Oh yeah, so Grammys and I don't know if he won the Academy Award or not, but he's the one that put together the soundtrack for the first.
What is it? It's what is that movie about the dude's wife who comes up with? It's a movie about a guy's wife who comes up with a lot of crazy, shitty ideas and follows Trump to all of his rallies, and he barely ever sees her anymore. And anyways, he got a bunch of other people's songs for that soundtrack. He was the musical supervisor for it or something before he drank himself into a stupor.
For Top Gun, so he's got like 28 million sales, you know, up on the wall.
Yes, for songs he had nothing to do with.
An amazing guy, wonderful family, and truly, like I said, I thought I was going to be one of a whole bunch of voices on this song, and all of a sudden I'm in there, you know, screaming like only Peter is German. Peter and his wife are German. So,
all right, foreigners, I understand.
There's a kind of an underground.
Sorry, are you going to tell us that he was going for a Rammstein feel on this with that shitty piano keyboard noise? You absolute asshole.
Absolutely has to happen grungy rock at the bottom of this that I never, ever, ever would have come up with or ever would have thought I would have been part of. I am.
Right, and you probably shouldn't have. And the word is no, John, and maybe if you learn to say that word, you'd still have a career.
I'm so proud of this because it's so far beyond
taste, quality, worth.
Anything I've ever had anything to do with musically.
Oh, that's a great way to. It's a great way to put it.
You know, it's so I'm so jazzed. I'm glad that people are loving it. And
yeah, they're loving it. All right. And John, I wish you had more time, but thanks so much for being with us this morning. Great. And March, I think that's going to be a huge hit. I think we can both agree, because you know, wow, and such an amazing thing where people are, you know, thinking, hey, couldn't we have another song from him that doesn't sound like anything we'd want to hear? And I think the answer is yes. I would love to have finished that video, but I simply cannot, ladies and gentlemen, because we have a special guest and I don't have a lot of time left. But we've got somebody coming in here right now that I got to tell you is having the best time. They've removed all the furniture from his downstairs area where he normally parks his chair looking this way, but the sun has shifted and the lights don't work anymore, and they've unplugged everything because he used to run an extension cord 27 miles out into the woods from his factory and write off all of his house electricity, and now somebody figured it out and now he's stuck there. He's, and his message today, Mike Lindell wants evangelicals to vote. Okay? Capiche? All right?
Right now, it's my pleasure. Always a pleasure.
It's, yeah, no one knows pleasure like this. Peter Navarro, who is strangely in a windy between two ferns set, fresh from jail.
The My Pillow guy.
That's how they refer to him. He loves hearing that for about as long as they'll keep doing it. Yeah, the My Pillow guy. Oh, why is that? Go, you silly thing. Come on. There you go.
Soft-spoken, reserved, but today
Lumpy pillows kiss my ass.
he might come out of his shell.
He's saying that in an ironic fashion because I'm known for being wild and out there. And if I'm not being attacked with a tangerine, I'll give you what for, buddy. I'll give you what for.
Mike Lindell in the war room, brother.
Yeah, thanks, Peter. Yeah, you guys.
I'm not actually in the war room. I'm in the foyer.
I want to say before I give you guys this special of the day, I've been going around actually to churches. I just spoke at
Right, because they have to let you in.
a church in Texas yesterday. Over 1,000 people there, and
Wow, fabulous. And they normally have like 4 people, and you showed up, and it's normally like 2,000, and you showed up, and there was like 1,000. I see.
encouraging everyone when you go to your church, tell everyone they got to get out and vote. This is and make it a part of the discussion.
Yeah, no, we get it. We get it. Well said. My favorite part is that we gotta either your microphone is broken or crack.
This is where where people are gathering, and you need to get these people out that they can't just sit back and go.
Oh, and I know that they used to have something called like Souls to the Polls or something. That we've got to stop. That's the black people going. But if you're going to a white evangelical church in Texas, you got to talk those people into voting. Now, I know a lot of them don't have ID, and a lot of them specifically avoid having ID because they're afraid it's the mark of the beast, and that a digital ID that has, any kind of information on it, like one of those magnetic strips, is clearly the mark of Satan. And yet, it's basically a big 66. What was the number again? I lose track.
You know what? Whatever happens, or I'm just gonna, pray about it. No, we need to take.
Yeah, saying stuff in church like it's in God's hands or some bullshit like that. It's not in God's hands. God doesn't have a plan. He doesn't know what he's fucking doing. There's a Democrat in the White House and a brown lady in second place, and she might win. God has no idea the damage that could be done. God's clearly, there is no Jesus to take the wheel.
Action. So I just want to encourage.
Yeah. As opposed to faith.
People that with the Christian vote, we've got to get out the Christian conservative vote, and that's.
So not the Christian liberal vote. Make sure, again, souls to the polls being a thing. We got to make sure that the Christian conservative evangelical right-wing vote gets out, and that we do everything we can to stop those black people who go to church from voting their conscience. I mean, God, how are you allowing this to even happen? Jesus Christ. I don't even know, we're in this situation where, Lord, the only thing that could be worse is maybe the kidney, if God, are you there?
The kidney has a very special place in the heart.
Oh, you are there. I thought I lost you for a second. I recognized your voice.
That's what I've been doing now. I've been at my third church last night, and
You were turned away from 2 churches last night?
And
I mean, I can see why.
People are. There's actually surprised at a lot of this.
If that
They're actually surprised that a lot of I can see that. I can see that.
vote gets out, we win.
Yeah.
But for some reason, evangelicals vote kind of at lower rates than other parts of demographics. It's very puzzling. And
I think I have a generalized idea. It's because a lot of evangelicals don't involve themselves in the government at all because they're what's the word I'm looking for? It's not something I would say in church, but fucking lunatics is the thing.
I mean, so I'm glad you're out there preaching.
I'm glad you're out there and not here. That's the important thing. Thanks so much. Good on you. Goodbye now. See you later. So long. Ta-ta. Fuck off. If I may, I'm pushing all kinds of buttons today, chat room. Can I show you why they don't vote? And why, if you raise the standard for ID to real ID, if you need real ID to vote, which is what you're going to have, which will have proof of your citizenship in the magnetic strip on there, that'll be part of it. This person is a citizen. It'll maybe even have a thumbprint if you want to add that to it. If you have TSA pre and all that kind of stuff like I do, it will mark that you have TSA pre, and therefore it's an extra level of scrutiny. If you want to know what might be the problem that's going to drive down Republican voter turnout, not just this time, but continually over time, do you want to know? Here it is. Ladies and gentlemen, we laughed so hard at Alex Jones. He's making sort of a comeback today, but this is why. This is why. Red alert. Congress nears passage of digital ID social credit score system. Okay, digital ID social credit score system. They're nearing. Congress is nearing the passage of it. You think it's going to be just a higher quality ID or social? Well, let's see. Let's see how he puts it together.
But the first thing I want to do is play a clip of economist Michael Gibson.
Brought to you by Just for Men.
Who does a good job in just a few minutes boiling down what's already happening around the world and what's
definitely going to happen here, because if it happens in the rest of the world, it's definitely coming here eventually.
Starting to happen here. The global
starting to happen. What's the what phase is starting to happen? Anybody know? Because everything this asshole talks about has been starting to happen for decades. And just to clarify, nothing that Alex Jones has said would come true has come true. Nothing. He's full of shit.
Globalists are turning down the velocity of money while creating more debt, and
the globalists are turning down the velocity of money while creating more debt.
Creating depressionary conditions that stagflation for the general public.
No, okay, so you're talking about rubles. You're talking about the Russian economy. Yeah, that's exactly what's happening there. Yeah, absolutely.
Well, they give
by the way, that desk goes on sale next month. Do you understand me? Do you fucking understand me? That desk goes on sale.
Themselves unlimited money through the central banks to buy everything up. It's a vertical integration. It's a scorched earth system where the bureaucrats working for the big private banks use policy as a weapon. Here he is.
So you got to understand.
Okay, first of all, that was blather. Let's see what this dipshit's talking about. Okay, so you got to understand the steps that are going to take place.
Understand the steps that are going to take place. Well, now once the FedNow system goes in place, it's supposed to go online July 1st. That's the infrastructure that allows the CBDC to work. Now, they're saying the cover story, if you Google what that is, it says it's a payment processing, point-to-point, so it's instantaneous. That's all bullshit. That's the cover story. Because if they told you this is the infrastructure for what's going to make you a slave from now on, nobody would go for it. Like, they would revolt. So they have to.
Right, because that's not actually what it is. Yeah, this is also, by the way, that's a bookcase set behind you. And I don't know what the fuck this like carved wooden chair horse shit is, but you have a laptop on the desk.
Put a cover story out about what it is so that you'll allow it to go in place.
Cool. Maybe I would say some people can handle their weed and this asshole can't.
So just know that story is bull. Once that's in place, you'll watch the market start to decline because now they're set up and they need to crash the markets.
By the way, you're describing the Chinese economy.
Cut off the supply of money, which is already happening in other countries.
Right. I don't give a fuck.
If you've not seen the videos, because they only last a few minutes when people post them before they take them down.
Oh, yeah. I've seen those. Yeah. What do you mean, like non-consensual revenge nudes of Hunter Biden?
Of the riots going on and the banks being burnt to the ground in other countries right now.
Yeah. I saw that. Yeah. Now, granted, you're largely talking about like places like Lebanon, and it's not so much a bank as an ATM on a building that's a housing place for weapons that Israel might have struck, or Chinese people rising up. And again, why is what's happening in the Chinese economy our problem? Oh, because a lot of his funding and Alex's funding comes from there. Why the same thing in Russia? Right.
Because they've already seized their money. They've got a total blackout on it in the media.
Sure. Yeah. Cool story, bro.
I want to get that guy on. His stuff's dead on. I was watching.
No, it isn't. It's bullshit. It's meaningless. It's goofy horse shit. He knows exactly where the videos that nobody can see because as soon as they're up, they're down. You know, you got to be there. You got to be waiting there for the video to go up. And then as soon as it goes up, you got to watch it really quick. And then halfway while you're watching it, before you figure out what the end, it goes down. And then and then they ask for your credit card.
Watching a lot of it this weekend. I already knew who he was, but I just kind of did a little bit of a binge.
Yeah, that's all you need.
Here it is.
And wait, sorry. You already knew who he was. You did a bit of a binge. And that's the clip you came up with. So are we talking about like the digital dollar kind of idea?
Right here today. Got to go read this article. It's on Infowars.com. It links to the Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation that...
Oh, I see. So you're reading your own articles with your own headlines as if that's news you have discovered. Cool. Digital ID schemes make strides in Congress despite rights advocate opposition. The act wants the government to look into all the ways it could provide solutions for Americans to prove their identity on the internet. Right, so you could, vote, or you could, and prove who you are, or I don't know, renew your driver's license or your fucking car registration.
Runs the UN Global Standard.
And they can be sure it's really you and not fake.
Program for the World ID, the social credit score.
For the World ID, the score, and the World ID were run by all these girly men who make these silly little hand gestures that are queer as a football bat, and we can't trust them because they do. Oh, and there's tranny porn on their phone, and we're supposed to believe they don't like that kind of stuff. And all right, sorry.
And the central bank digital currency, social credit score, internet.
Yeah, none of that has anything to do with fucking anything. This is just about proving who you are in a digital world. What are you talking about, dummy?
ID. Digital ID schemes make strides in Congress despite...
Hey, fuckwad, we can read, and it's your headline. Don't affirm your own idea. You don't get to reference your own fucking page.
Rights advocate opposition. And it goes over the bipartisan group. It's very close to getting it passed and setting up.
It's one of the, quote, commandments of global organizations like the UN and the World Bank, to name but two, and also those less official ones like the WEF and the Gates Foundation, the digital ID. And also so we can verify who the fuck we are in online transactions that are increasing. Fuck off.
The Digital Identity Task Force under presidential executive order, total control to force you onto a central bank digital currency. Trump has pledged to kill that.
Oh, that's CBDC, the central bank digital currency, not CBD. That's fucking, that's the oil they get from marijuana for your joints and in gummies.
And it goes on.
Yeah, just for the record, CBDC, central bank digital currency, CBD, an oil that has, health benefits.
Talk about how it's being run, and we'll take the advice of the UN task force headed up by Bill Gates.
Okay. Cool story, bro. Digital ID schemes make strides. It's the same fucking page. What, you just throwing me a scary old looking dude?
Pretty powerful stuff.
It's not powerful at all. You wrote it, motherfucker. Now, granted, look, some things that I say myself are true. Like, I'm Hal Sparks, and this is Hal Sparks Mega Worldwide, and there is no greater live stream, and there never will be. And this is infotainmentwars.com. If you want to subscribe, go to infotainmentwars.com. And I'm going to buy that fucking desk and put Infotainment Wars across the front of it, because fuck this dude. But I am Hal Sparks, and I will Hal Sparks better than anybody can Hal Sparks. And if I do say so, my damn self.
That you need to go read for yourself. It has links.
Yeah, I'm not going to do that.
To the documents and to the legislation.
Hey, asshat, what? And then they're selling shit. That's it. Buy some shit, I'm going to die. That was it. That's the whole fucking video. That's it. Alex has just boiled down to playing whoever the fuck this dickhead is. Totally trustworthy and definitely not a translated Russian. And again, that's the infrastructure that allows the CBD. It's CBDC, digital currency, not central bank digital. Even that alone, even that like little fuck up in the video that you posted, because he's doing these little fucking TikToks, proves you're talking out of your ass. What the fuck? What is this asshole doing? Going as Jeffrey Epstein for Halloween? But that's, again, that's why why there's no federal ID right now. That's why. Because these dickheads, in all seriousness, think that a real ID is the mark of the beast. And so when they have to show ID, they don't want to do it. And the more you ask for ID, the more red states go, you must have ID to vote. They're like, I'm not going to some government facility. This is all just a plan to round me the fuck up. Because why wouldn't it be? Democrats are in charge of the government. You believe all this horse shit about FEMA camps and crap like that, right? Why the fuck would you go to an organized government facility for, under the guise of voting, show them who you are for sure, and then step into a little booth, which probably has a trapdoor in it? This is so yes, passports, right. But 56 Nick Rich, passports, most of these fuckers don't have passports for the same reason. And you have to pay for a passport. Passports are expensive. It costs you over $100 to get a passport. So you can use a passport as an ID, but you don't need a passport to ID or to vote, right? You don't need to use that as your ID, because that's a great example of how making people pay for their ID would be a poll tax. You can prove citizenship with a passport, but you can also deny people the ability to prove they are citizens if you require a passport at the voting booth, if you ask for a passport to show that, because it costs like $116 to get one minimum. Maggots don't have fucking passports. It's a government document that shows who you are. It's got all this biometric shit in it, right? That's why they don't do it. Now, can we end on something? I've only got a couple minutes left. Can we end on something really stupid? I know what you're thinking, Hal. How can you top John Schneider's Don't Donald to Trump? I can't do it. Not today. I'm just counting on it. But if anybody can kind of bring this home in a way that is just an inserious, whiny waste of time. It's the mess. Ladies and gentlemen, I got to tell you, this guy has he's got 10 times, more than 10 times the amount of subscribers that I do. So subscribe, I'm just saying. He's got 10 times the subscribers I do. Now, he's got my videos, by the way, he's got 777,000 subscribers. But my videos often have 10 times as many views as his. Curious, wouldn't you say? Isn't that weird? I mean, I shouldn't even be in the fucking ballpark. If he's got 777,000 subscribers and he's got 1,100 views on this fucking video, right? Wouldn't you think, like I would have, if I've got 77,000, I should have like 18, maybe 100 maximum. Just saying. So it's only 3 minutes long, and so it'll be blissfully short, but I guarantee it will be jam-packed with bullshit.
In our own time, is Trump a Caesar?
No, I think he's more of a Cobb salad, actually. Just kind of, I don't know if he's a Caesar salad. I think anybody who puts anchovies on a salad is just asking for trouble, to quote Brian Ben in Dream On. Why? Because everybody's stabbing him in the back? Is that what we're going with? Probably. That's got to be this, right? That's what he means?
Well, I want to argue that the reason that the left calls him that is because he does have the dimensions of a Caesar, somewhat like Lincoln.
Huh? Wait a minute. Nobody's calling him Julius Caesar on the left. Where did this come from? Please, citation needed, motherfucker. Where did this come from that he's somehow Julius Caesar? In any way, right? All right, maybe he's going to reference it off something, because this is just fucking weird.
There's a line from Shakespeare as Julius Caesar.
Wait, sorry. Take it away, the mess.
And this is...
Oh, my... Hold on. There we go. Sometimes my headphones disconnect and reconnect.
He is talking about...
All right, asshole. Wait a second. Now I have to do that thing where I restart. Yeah, I do, don't I? Now I'm back. There we go.
Caesar. He goes, why, man? He doth bestride the narrow...
Oh, motherfucker. He's reading Shakespeare. This is going to be fucking brutal. Just when he got to the word doth,
About Caesar. He goes, why, man? He doth bestride the narrow world like a colossus. In other words, Caesar is just this huge, larger-than-life figure, and it seems like everything revolves around this guy. What is he doing? People are for him or against him, but it's really all about Caesar. And Cassius says that compared to Caesar, the rest of us are like these little mini, we're like these Lilliputians. He calls them petty men who walk under his huge legs. This is, I think, part of what's going on with Trump.
Wait a minute. Cassius was also like the seed of betrayal. That's why that line, yon Cassius doth have that lean and hungry look. He's too skinny. You can't trust him.
Trump is a larger-than-life figure. He has the
Well, he's larger than his belt.
Abilities to a point of being a Caesar, but my argument is that he doesn't want to be one.
Great. Cool argument. I'm so glad we're finally settling this. I'm sure you can narrow it down in the remaining minute and 54 seconds. Also, real quick, fuckwad. Why do we care?
Now, the left says that Trump...
Oh, do we?
Trump will become one if he is given a second chance.
No, he says he would be a dictator on day one, and none of us are stupid enough to believe that he would, if he had the ability to be a dictator, that he would ever stop. Why would Donald Trump, once he was in power, lessen his power willingly? Who believes that?
And this is, by the way, also what the conspirators against Caesar say about Caesar. In fact, interestingly, in Shakespeare's Julius Caesar, Caesar hasn't done anything tyrannical. And yet, here's one of the conspirators, a guy named Flavius.
Fucking Flavius, am I right?
These growing feathers plucked from Caesar's wing will make him fly an ordinary pitch. Who else would soar above the view of men and keep us all in servile fearfulness? What's he saying?
This is what happens when right-wingers are afraid to quote scripture because it will be really obvious that they don't know what the fuck they're talking about, and they believe that their audience won't know what the fuck they're talking about with Shakespeare, and so they feel slightly safer. So this is like moron church.
He's saying, hey, listen, Caesar's like this big bird. We need to...
That's right. That's exactly what he's saying. Caesar's like Big Bird. Absolutely. He's more like Snuffleupagus, but
pull
yeah.
his feathers out right now, because that'll keep him from flying too high. And Brutus kind of takes the same approach. He goes, he would be crowned. How that might change his nature, there's the question. It is the bright day that brings forth the adder, meaning the snake, and that craves weary walking. Brutus is saying basically, Caesar hasn't been...
It's always good when someone's describing Shakespeare to you that they say basically a lot.
become a tyrant, but he could be. He could become one. And that's kind of what the left is saying about Trump. Don't give...
No, that's what Trump is saying about Trump. He literally argued in court that he should have the right to commit crimes while president. He believes he should be able to use SEAL Team 6 to kill his political rivals. We're not saying any of this shit, motherfucker. We didn't make this up.
Give him the chance because he will be a dictator. Well, here...
That's what he said. Give him the chance and he will be a dictator. That's what he said, you dumb motherfucker.
Here's the problem with that line of analysis.
It leaves out the fact that Trump said it himself.
Trump was in power. Trump actually had the opportunity to become a dictator, but he didn't.
Right, because he was either too lazy or too scared to try, or there were people around him who stopped him that were already in positions. And he's already said he would broom those people out, fill those positions with family members and loyalists so that no one would be a check on him the next time around. And then by the time people stopped him, it would be too late.
Right? Debbie makes this point. She goes, if Trump was...
Well, if Debbie says it, I don't know how... I don't even know why why don't you just let Debbie say it? That's why you're a mess.
A dictator, he was like the worst dictator in the history of the world.
No, he was the worst president in the history of the world. He would be the worst dictator next time. He's just too fucking stupid.
He didn't control the police agencies of his own government. He didn't rig his own...
Yeah, he did. Yeah, he did. He had Bill Barr run interference for him so that they couldn't look into his finances, which would be the motive part of means, motive, and opportunity in committing crimes in regard to Russian collusion. And so since they couldn't look there, it nullifies the actual prosecutorial case.
On elections, dictators are not used to losing elections and having to move out of office. Trump...
Right. And he didn't realize that his army would fail, and when they did, he's like, okay, next time we got to do this better. By the way, you know, Hitler wasn't, I guess, necessarily a dictator the first time he ran. Right?
Of course, believes he won, but a dictator who believes he won wouldn't leave. Trump...
He tried not to leave. He just lost.
Did leave. So...
Yeah, but again, you're talking about a situation where our system is not set up for a dictator. It has stopgaps around it to make sure that shit doesn't happen, barriers to keep that from happening. And Trump has said, along with Project 2025, we gotta as soon as we get in there, we gotta start getting rid of all those limits. We'll just get rid of them. We'll put loyalists and other people in places so nobody can stop us. And by the time, you know, and the Supreme Court's given us immunity, by the time they look up, they're already fucking dead.
The evidence is that Trump didn't go after his political opponents. He didn't try to...
Right. He was a lazy asshole. Now he's a deluded sociopath who is trying to stay out of jail.
Assassinate Hillary. He didn't try to indict her or lock her up. So the point is that the dictatorial threat.
All right. He didn't do that because he knew there was no there.
Is coming from.
But he didn't, by the way, Comey came out and said there might be something to the email scandal. That helped him get elected. And then Comey himself said like a year and a half later, there was nothing there. At the end of the Hillary Clinton email scandal, there was nothing there that was criminal. Nothing you could prosecute. It wasn't that Trump wouldn't have tried. It's that he couldn't.
From the other side.
Because our system still worked. What he's saying next time is, once I get in there, we'll take away all those barriers that kept me from locking somebody up just because they're inconveniently innocent. What a dipshit. Let's see. And then, should we needle drop on Trump before I let you go? Here's Trump in, where the fuck is he? I gotta drop this chat replay. In Scranton, Pennsylvania. He's in Joe's backyard. And this is, he's reading out the teleprompter, clearly. Hold on one second. Put this in here. Yeah, bored as shit. She loves it. This lady, whatever he just said, that lady loves it. We'll see what he said.
Polls open tomorrow. We're here. We're finally here. And you know, we're way up in your...
Oh, the polls open tomorrow. We're here. We're finally here. So you finally get to, what, I don't know, the voting day? Is that what he means? I guess.
I want to say, look, let's do it this way. The main thing is to win. Let's say we're 1 point down. I don't want to tell you. We're actually up. But I want to say we're 1 point down. Everybody get to the polls so we get these horrible politicians out of there. We want to...
He's horrible about this. So this is the problem that he has with his language, that we're way up in the polls and we're winning and we're going to win easily and we're winning easily and we're winning easily. Is that people are like, oh, if he's winning easily, I don't need to go. That's why he did that whole like, Harry, get your ass up off the couch. Let Vance fuck it.
Get rid of him.
The couch, not your ass. I think it's important to just make a distinction.
No, we're actually up in the polls in Pennsylvania and Michigan.
Nope.
In Arizona, just came out. We're up in Arizona very substantially.
Yeah, good old Rasmussen.
We're way up in the...
Thanks, Sharon, for voting today.
Polls, and the only place we're down, New York Times has a headline that we're down a little bit. But they're the only poll. Every poll, you got to see these polls. They're the best polls. New York Times is, we call it the failing New York Times. It's fake news. These people are sick.
Yeah, so we're winning. We're way ahead. Don't worry. This is the language. We're winning because I'll tell you why. Why does it matter? I mean, fuck him, because we don't need to watch any of that shit. It's a waste of time. But we'll finish on this. Most of the time, if it's a close race or if you're behind in some areas, the smart move is to, hey, play like we're way behind. You got to make it like, because a lot can happen between now and election day. It's very important. Bank your vote, vote early. The important thing is vote, right? Even if you're a couple of points ahead, if you're within the margin of error or you're just outside the margin of error, it doesn't matter. Again, a lot can happen, so everybody needs to vote. Always encouraging voting and vote like you're 10 points down. This is fine. But Trump's ego won't allow him to do that. And on top of that, if his voters think that he's losing, they won't vote. That's why he freaks out even when she's ahead within the margin of error. Trump's own voters are voting for a winner. And if he's not winning, what the fuck are we voting for at all? That's it. That's why he can't ever just go, fight like we're behind. Yep. Oh, and people are starting to agree with me that he is drinking. Yes, I see people in the chat room. Thank you for finally recognizing that it is alcohol and pills. And it gets worse as he goes on. And he starts doing this, like he's always been this way, but he's deflating. I don't know what alcohol and Ozempic do to a person, but I think it looks like this.
I'll tell you right now, but they are destroyed. Isn't it amazing? We don't have any electricity, but they want to go all electric cars. Think of that. Now think, these are, I'm just thinking, we're talking about all electric. And I love electric cars. You know why? Because I think Elon is great. But you know what?
What?
I like them for what the market is. There's a market. I think they're great. I think it's incredible. But the long distances and they are more expensive to make, and a lot of them are going to be made in China. But
notice, since he hung out with Elon Musk, did anybody notice? He's softening his stance on electric cars. Suddenly it's the long distances, not they don't go very far and they're too expensive and they're going to be made in China. A lot of them are going to be made in China. Yeah, a lot of Teslas are going to be made in China.
You know the...
Duh. He actually says fucking duh. Does that matter to anybody anymore? Saying actually saying duh while you're speaking. I don't know. Gee, Tennessee.
The amazing thing about Elon Musk,
is his background in apartheid finance.
He went to that rally. I think he had the greatest time he's ever had. Did you see it? He was jumping around.
It's called ketamine.
He was so happy. You know, he's always like, I envision him. He's sort of a reclusive kind of a guy. He's incredible. He's a total genius. We have to take care of our geniuses. But he comes up and he...
Take care of our geniuses? What is he need, a fucking whoopee?
He's looking at this crowd. He's never seen anything like it. He's standing, and he started doing like jumping jacks and stuff. No, he was just happy. I said,
Yeah, he was just happy.
What's he doing back there? I was just giving him a quick introduction. He had a great time, and you know, he got a black hat. I didn't even know we made black hats. And it said, Make America Great Again, but it was very low, you know, very sort of understated. But a black hat,
it was very low? What do you mean? It hadn't been fully inflated?
Loves that hat, and he called it Dark MAGA, right? Who thinks of it?
That's been around for a while. It's gross. There's Ultra MAGA and Dark MAGA. Dark MAGA is Stephen Miller racism. That's what it means.
Dark MAGA. And I called him, I told him, thank you very much. We sold like 10,000 hats in the last 2 days. I didn't even know we made that hat. Now I
Motherfucker.
Find out it's like the hottest thing going, Dark MAGA. No, he's fantastic. And he's
fantastic. I don't know what that means.
He's gonna do a lot. He's gonna be involved. He's great, and he's gonna
do a lot. He's gonna be involved. He's great. Electric cars. I fucking love electric cars. I just met with him. He's fucking, you know how I said I hated electric cars? I love electric cars. They're going to be awesome.
Be involved because we have so much fat in this country. We have so much waste and fat and fraud.
Jesus Christ. That should be the title of your autobiography, sir, at this point. Ladies and gentlemen, I got to let you go. Take care of yourselves and take care of somebody else. Regular show tomorrow. And then, of course, Friday, I have to fly out to Kansas City. Still working out travel. But hopefully I'll be able to do regular shows. Wish me luck. Probably morning show, and then the afternoon show would be punted till later. That's probably what's going to happen. But I'll let you guys know as best I can. But tomorrow, regular show, 4 p.m. Pacific time. HAL Sparks Mega Worldwide. Like, subscribe, give a thumbs up, support the show. And everybody who's in the path of, or the ancillary path, or the extended path, or the fucking Sharpie extended path of the hurricane and the other storms around it, please be safe. Listen to all the weather warnings and get out of the path of danger. If your stuff is just stuff, you can replace it. You'll have a great story and you'll be alive to tell it. We love you. You're very special. Now get the fuck out of there, which is what I think Trump should have said, except for the "we love you, you're very special" part. He could have left that out on January 6th. I'm just saying. But anybody who's in any of those areas, please be careful. Listen, you know, and disasterassistance.gov will get you all the links you need. If, you know, find places where they have Wi-Fi and stuff, get to a shelter. There'll be plenty of people, you know, helping people get to safety. once you're there, take your electronic devices with you. Make sure you have it, bring in a charger. Good idea. I mean, most people in hurricane zones and tornado zones have a little go bag. If you don't have one, it's a good idea to put one together. Anyways, just be safe. Love you. And Andrea, be safe. Thank you for calling today and letting us know you were all right. I greatly appreciate it. And I will see you guys later on. Take care of yourselves and take care of somebody else. I always wonder where that button is. I almost pushed it. I pushed it accidentally earlier, and I don't mean to do it, but there's a... Son of a bitch! Mm-hmm.